Working together, we can restore the rule of law, keep dangerous criminals off our streets, and help former inmates get a second chance at life, and a second chance that many of them will really succeed at, if only given the chance. America is a nation that believes in the power of redemption. America is a nation that believes in second chances and third chances in some cases. And I don't know, I guess even fourth chances. I don't know about that.
All right, President Trump pushing criminal justice reform efforts earlier today at the White House summit, urging both sides of the political aisle to come together and help shrink the nation's prison population. Trump says he supports a bipartisan prison reform bill called the First Step Act, which would place federal prisoners closer to home, allow more home confinement for lower-level offenders, and expand prison employment programs. Here now to discuss, Katrina Pierson, a Trump 2020 campaign senior advisor, Katie Frates, Olympic media managing editor, Kevin Walling, Democratic strategist and director of DS Politics, and Darrin Porcher is with us as well. He's a retired NYPD lieutenant, also former U.S. Army officer. Katrina, I don't know if you were at this event or not, but I've been talking about this for a few months because the efforts that are going into this, I think, are absolutely phenomenal. The Koch brothers also pouring a lot of money to stem recidivism. What do you make of this effort?
Well, I think this is a fantastic opportunity for the Trump administration to show exactly what they're about. And Charles, it's a first step. And as Jared Kushner and Van Jones and a lot of other people who were at the event today proved, that the Trump administration wants to do prison reform. And this is really about compassionate reforms along with giving individuals a second chance. Those who have committed a crime and done their time and want to be a contributor to society will have an opportunity.
Kevin, can the White House count on Democratic support on this, or will this just get rubber stamped with resist? Hashtag resist.
Sure, Charles. Well, I've got to commend you for shining a light on this continually. And I got to agree with Katrina, as the token Democrat on this panel, I'm supposed to attack to the left on this, but I got to reward the president for his leadership on this issue. Like you said, Charles, he had Van Jones on site today at the White House. He brought together Republicans and Democrats. The United States makes up 4.4% of the world's population, and yet we have 22% of the world's people behind bars. That's wrong.
Right.
And I got to commend the president. I think he'll meet Democrats halfway, and you'll see Democratic support for reasonable, common sense, bipartisan solutions when it comes to criminal justice reform.
Katie, earlier today, the rapper Meek Mills had agreed he accepted an invitation from President Trump to go to the White House. Word is that Jay-Z had talked him out of it. But one thing I do want to note is that, places like Democratic State California, which instituted the three strikes rule, built 25 prisons in 25 years. And the fact of the matter is 87% of people who are locked up on the state or local level. I applaud President Trump for doing this, but there is a misconception that this is one political party instead of a system situation.
Well, and I think you're right. And testament to that is that Van Jones was there. And I really think that Meek Mills missed out on his opportunity to be present and help out this portion of Americans who are trying to get back up on their feet after making a mistake and leaving prison, leaving jail. I think Jay-Z really did a disservice because there were reports that he basically told him that it would be bad for your image to show up for this White House forum. And it's not about image. It's about helping Americans, as I said, get back up on their feet, become a contributing member of society, and have a better life. And that shouldn't be about politics or image or looking cool. Yeah,
especially because this is something that's near and dear to Meek Mills' heart. He's committed to this for the rest of his life, and I think he's sincere. Darrin, as a retired police officer, what's the law enforcement view of this? I mean, would it be soft on crime, or would it be a smart move?
Well, the criminal justice system is bifurcated. As you mentioned earlier, the overwhelming majority of arrestees are in a state system, whereas the federal system has their own level, their own number of inmates. So it needs to be a bipartisan component that comes together on this, but we need to look specifically to the governors. The governors play a germane role in this because they're the people. From your point of view, from a police officer's point of view, are you okay with this, with taking a more active role, perhaps, trying to curb recidivism? Or is there this sense that, once someone enters the prison system,
there's no, it's not necessarily that there's no redemption, but it's hard to stop them from getting out of that cycle.
Well, what I was getting at was we do need criminal justice reform, and I'm a strong proponent in people deserve a second chance. We pay upwards of it's roughly $70,000 a year per inmate to house an inmate. So we as citizens are incurring the cost for this incarceration. Mass incarceration has been a problem for years on end. And then I'm thankful that President Trump is stepping forward and saying, hey, look, we're going to take the necessary steps, give people a second chance, because if not, the recidivism rate is going to continue.
Right.
If someone doesn't have the ability to get a job, what are they going to do? They're going to go back to the means that they employed, which got them locked up in the first place.
Darrin, thanks a lot. Thank all of you very much. Really appreciate it.